like to call Souvik sir on stage to invite the next speaker for a special address.
Thanks, Neha. Now we have come to a very important part of this conference, that is 4th India Digital Empowerment Meet and Awards, which is focusing primarily on Madhya Pradesh because Madhya Pradesh is hosting this. We have a special session on MP State Electronics Development Corporation, and for that I would like to invite the program chair, Mr. Abhijeet Agrawal, Managing Director of MP State Electronics Development Corporation, to come on stage and share his thoughts with us on over to you, sir. Please on the call, sir.
Good evening. I think it's a long day for all of us, but probably you must be enjoying. We can get second round of coffee probably for that. Thank you. Have you got the presentation? By the time they get the presentation, I'd like to tell to the audience which are not from Madhya Pradesh, from other states. MPSEDC is a state corporation who works on the e-governance projects, and we have got a mandate from the government to do the software development, as well as we are also the nodal officer or nodal agency for IT investment, IT parks, electronic parks. So it's like a one-stop shop. We also manage the data center. We also manage the state SWAN, the internet backbone to the state departments. So, and we have got almost a development team of 400 plus developers, majorly through third parties. And we have got a development center in Bhopal, Indore, Jabalpur, and now in Noida as well. So we are trying to expand ourselves to cater to not only Madhya Pradesh. Now we are trying to cater to other state governments. We are doing some projects for other state governments also, and Government of India as well. So we are trying to put forth into Government of India domain as well. So I'll try and dwell some brief talk about some of the e-government initiatives that we had. So first of all, I'll talk about what is the digital ecosystem that we are all entailing and envisaging for a service delivery, especially in the case of context of government. We needed a very strong digital transformation, and we have done a lot of workflow redesigning and workflow being BPR being done. And we have worked on the single citizen database, which I'll talk about in the next slides. And we are trying to experience and we are trying to improve the citizen experience for the citizen service delivery, especially on the BPR front. And now we have started effectively using the JAM Trinity. JAM is Jan Dhan, Aadhaar and mobile, which are the basic backbone now for rendering the services digital. So what is the basic the obstacles in implementation of the e-gov project, which is like duplication, how to remove that. How to actually, portability should be built in the system. How effective, easy the system is. How multi-sector verification can be done, and how authentication can be done, and how the dashboarding, etc. can be done. So, I'll talk about some of the key initiatives of Government of MP. One is single citizen database and Ladli Behna Yojana, Sipo Kamao, Alpas, and Girdavri and e-services and faceless mutation of the land. I'll talk about them in subsequent slides. Single citizen database is something which is a fundamental backbone now we are trying to create in Madhya Pradesh, which has a basic fundamental of creating a family registry over and above the individual registry. We already have got a Samagar in our state, wherein individuals and the family are mapped, where we map the relation with the head of the family to each of the members. And this project was started way back in 2014 using the PDS data as a primary database. And we had been using that Samagar as a service in many of the applications, especially the food, PDS and scholarship, school admission, etc. Now, what we realized that at the point of time of inception of Samagra, Aadhaar as a backbone for identifier was not there. Aadhaar could not have been used as a eKYC or e-auth at that point of time. And a lot of people have also done Samagra multiple times, and we still face the challenge of multiple Samagra IDs. So how to remove that, how to make the system more smarter. Then we came up with this concept of SCD, single citizen database. So over and above Samagra, now we are trying to put a layer of Aadhaar as a backbone for identification. The moment you put Aadhaar as a backbone for identification, it will remove your duplication kind of a thing, and you are able to make unique kind of thing. So how this whole SCD has been structured, we are actually trying to get every information layer over and above the demography in the complete data set. People might also say that you have a DigiLocker, why don't you use the DigiLocker? That's a fundamental question that we always get. But DigiLocker has got its own access challenges. Plus, the data set, the kind of interpretation, analytics, and proactive governance that we are trying to work around will not be very much possible with the DigiLocker kind of a thing. So what we have envisaged is, over the layer of Samagra, we are trying to bring every information like that of education, caste, income, domicile, the land record, property record, so economic, social, educational, land, demography. This is what majorly you entail as a data set for an individual. So we are trying to create a very golden kind of a data set, which will act as a single source of truth for any of the citizen service delivery. So the person will, in the front-end application, will only have to enter that Samagra ID, and it will give everything as a service. Now this looks very, simple, very plain, that okay, this is good. But there are a host of challenges that we are facing, and we continue to solve them. Like the challenge is like how to do the IR, identity resolution. We have got 2 crore caste certificates which are already digitized. We have digital caste certificate number. Now, how to make a system which actually map individual caste certificate to individual Samagra ID in a very truthful manner. Truthful manner means if you are trying to make Samagra as a single source of repository for the data, then it has to be truthful. Otherwise, there can be another Abhijeet Agrawal which is of a different category. And if I map a wrong, say, caste certificate, and that person gets the delivery of based on that caste, then my system will be put to question. So this IR remains to be a slightly difficult proposition for all of us, and we continue to work on that. And we have also now designed a mobile interface to solve this problem from the crowdsourcing of the citizen. We have made a citizen mobile interface where citizen can, like in My Aadhaar, you can log in and you can see your information. But My Aadhaar doesn't give you a utility to integrate other documents digitally or physically. But we have made an interface wherein in mobile app, we will be able to, give the utility to citizens to map their digital certificate by themselves. And we'll do the IR from the back end and we'll map all the data points. That is how. So in the left side, you can see there is an information stack, which entails whatever the details that I talked about. And in the right side, we have got a benefit stack. So what we are trying to entail is that any application takes, calls Samagra as a service with eKYC, renders the service for the document, and gives back the data what service the system has given. So my benefit stack keep increasing, and my information stack also keep increasing depending on the number of information sets that I'm trying to integrate. And yesterday only I just thought, can we also have a grievance stack? Just this came to my mind yesterday. Let me try and make out a grievance score of individual citizen if I have unique identifier in my say CM helpline, if somebody calls on my CM helpline, I say कि आप अपना समग्र ID बताइए, or put me the individual primary key of different services, then I can even create a grievance stack of the individual citizen, which will give me a very good identifier to help me out that who are where, what is the spatial distribution of the problem. Is there any caste, religion connotation of the grievance based on the data set, data point? Are there my officers who are actually privy to certain caste, certain religion, certain set of delivery? So we can do these kind of predictive analytics on the grievance, provided we start working on this kind of a thing. Because I also had the CM helpline in the state as executive director. So earlier in last 10 years, our CM helpline used to be a generic kind of, somebody just give a call and say, कि मेरे घर में बिजली नहीं आ रही. But where is that guy? What is the बिजली का number idea? So now we are trying to think through, let's take the primary key right in once the caller calls. So now I'm trying to make it more further elaborate to generate a grievance stack, which will give you a very good insight about the root cause analysis of the governance. So benefits I have already talked about. Whichever the scheme that we think through, we can render it through Samagra eKYC as a service, where the document burden will become zero, almost zero. And the most interesting part which we are trying to now think through is, let's be presumptive governance. That suppose I just take an example, I take a scheduled caste with a land holding of say 5 acres. And from my database and Government of India schemes, I say that person is eligible for say 130 schemes. And if I'm giving an individual only say 90 scheme, then that person should be availing that 40 odd scheme. So why do I require that person to make an application? Can't I just nudge that person, you are eligible for this scheme, say yes, no, done. That is what now we are trying to think through. For example, on the birth of a child, what all we can give to that child? The birth certificate, enrollment for Aadhaar, a request to enrollment to Aadhaar, because Aadhaar you have to do. Caste certificate is his father and his or her father or the siblings are in a particular caste. Name addition in the, this thing, food, NFSA, then income and domicile. Income we cannot, domicile. And we can even start the account number if the Aadhaar has been generated. So we are now thinking to generate all these 6 documents right at the birth of the child. Probably we'll be starting this in 2 to 3 months. So that now, all these 6 or 7 kind of rendering of services require 6 officers to deliver, and 6 times you have to go to different offices, different systems. So only one host system will render all these 6 services. Because you have a data set of the family and you can calculate what is the, identifier for caste and everything. So that is how we are learning. And one of the very interesting in the first project that we actually leveraged on single citizen database is Ladli Behna Yojana. The scheme was announced informally by Chief Minister on 28th of January. And he said we will have this kind of scheme, just a general kind of announcement. No data set, nothing was planned at that point of time. Then the scheme was formally approved by the cabinet and the launch was done on 5th of March. And they said the registration will happen on 25th of March. And we started on 25th of March with Aadhaar as backbone and Samagra with eKYC as the fundamental. And we could do registration of 1.25 crore only in 55 days. Just because we were using a very simple system. And it just used to take 1 minute for a registration of a single woman. And so there was no data entry. So type 1 error are gone. Especially when you are dealing with say 30,000 odd users which are panchayat people. It was camp mode. It was not a citizen who can apply by themselves. It was to be done in a camp. We purposefully took the photograph of the women in the camp using mobile app or desktop-based camera. The purpose was not to make them parishan, but the purpose that women will come out of their homes and they will actually fill the form or something has been filled for them. They will get to know, because the kind of social value still we are in, you cannot expect that women will come out. So इसमें ये था कि the photograph will be taken and it will be matched with the Aadhaar photograph. In the utility, what we have done, we had shown the Aadhaar photograph using eKYC and the photograph of the camp was shown. And दोनों match करें, somebody had to opt it. So there was a complete participation of the women. So I just don't see this whole scheme as a part of tech, but I also see this scheme as a part of social engineering, where women could come out, where Aadhaar was a fundamental backbone. So where they were able to, utilize the Aadhaar as the backbone. Third, our whole payment system was based on this thing, Aadhaar-based payment. There was no account number which was captured in the front interface. People said कि आप account number नहीं ले रहे, कैसे होगा? ऐसा तो कभी हुआ ही नहीं कि account number के बिना आपका application बन जाए. We said no. Not required. Only Aadhaar-based payment was to be done. And for the first time, I think in the state, government of MP, any application which has a fundamental of Aadhaar-based payment has been the backbone. And in the first tranche on 10th June, we made payment to 1.20 crore women. And the money has actually gone to their account. Otherwise, the money will not go to any other account. And the percentage of success was 98.5%. So now, with the advent of single ID, like SCD, or now Haryana is doing Parivar Pehchan, Karnataka is doing Kutumba, Bhamasha is being done by Rajasthan. One can even think a scale of 1 crore in 2 months, 3 months. Disbursement to the actually intended beneficiary. Now the scales are, now any infra scale can be handled by cloud. We also have our cloud partners, CSPs onboarded. So we decided the whole framework on cloud because we wanted it to be scalable. We used all the technology. We used WhatsApp as a messaging, WhatsApp as a OTP also. So now leveraging the technology has become very important for the state. So that is how the whole journey was there. Then we got another assignment, Mukhyamantri Seekho Kamao Yojana. I'll just briefly talk about the scheme. This was to give the training apprenticeship in the industry, and the government will give 8,000 rupees, wherein 25% will be given by the industry partner establishment and 75% will be borne by the government of India. So this was a scheme. We requested NAPS portal, the National Apprenticeship Portal, to utilize their service, NAPS ID, to consume. We had 4 rounds of meeting. They said, yes, हम कर देंगे. After 4 rounds, they said, no, you have to comply with our scheme, we will not do. Then our chief secretary said, can you make a marketplace? And people in skill development said, sir, it has taken 2 years for NAPS to make this. So we said, sir, bana. And how much time we did? We did in 2 months. The same portal, the same kind of marketplace, registration. And I'll tell you the analogy with the NAPS portal. They first made the registration, now they are trying to do the Aadhaar-based GPT and make the candidates compliant with Aadhaar. And my backbone is Aadhaar with somebody. And for the first time for establishment registration, we only use 2 identifiers. One is GSTN and second is EPFO data. I don't think any state has ever used the EPFO data as identifying the number of strength of the establishment. So we got the dump from EPFO, had been kind enough to give us the dump of the whole nation, because the scheme is any establishment in the country can do the registration. So we did incremental approach, like an agile kind of approach in development. We first rolled out the establishment registration. And then we rolled out the citizen registration, and on 2nd of August, we rolled out the marketplace, where citizen can apply and the candidate can. This all, till this time, has taken 2 years for now. So the point I'm trying to leverage and the point I'm trying to push through is, with the advent of BPR in IT system, you can even reduce the time cycle of development of the system. Generally, what was the conventional way of software development? The government first used to make the scheme in kagas, and then they were trying to first look for SI. Then there will be negotiation. कि सब ये कर सकते हैं, नहीं कर सकते हैं. And for these kind of schemes, now the IT partner, MPSEDC being the front partner, we were trying to understand the requirement and we were trying to negotiate with the scheme guidelines being formed and the IT system being formed. So this is a new way of software development which is coming of age. Where in the software development, your policy contour formulation go hand in hand, and that is how we have been able to achieve these kind of goals in such a short span. Probably it is so difficult even private sector. If you say कि ये 2 महीने में कर दो, वो कहेंगे कि नहीं कर सकते. Because the kind of complexities we now deal with. So I have already talked about. This is a very interesting project that we did in-house with our GIS. We have got a very strong GIS team. We have got 200 plus GIS layers, and we have almost 200 roughly teams of GIS developers. And we just did this project wherein we are predicting the land crop information even to the land parcel scale. And our percentage success is roughly 70-75% on year-to-year basis. What has been the success point for this? Majorly is that we already had a digital crop survey, which now Government of India is taking for the whole country using Ministry of Agriculture. We started way back in 2017 using SARA. So we had a very strong ground data points for each land parcel. So using that ground data point, we did a lot of ML. Now, and we consume the satellite data and the list data of scatter. And we started the modeling part of it using ML and the ground data. And now we have been able to achieve almost 70-75%. And year on year, we are trying to improve. And I think it's the only government of Madhya Pradesh who gives a utility to the farmer even to punch what crop that farmer has actually sown. And this cannot be done in his home. He has to go to that land parcel. It will be a geo-fence. Then only the person can make an entry, and the person will also have to make a proposal. So this kind of system is actually giving us a secondary check to the whole crop sowing, and this data gets consumed to PDS, public procurement, then planning of the whole procurement in the state. And we have even did a PUC with Government of Rajasthan for one tehsil on AIML project, and we are in discussion with Government of Telangana. They are also trying to have a PUC with us on this e-Geography project. This is very interesting. This is one of the fundamental problems wherein the people who do the selling and purchase of the land, they face a lot of problem in mutation. So what we started is that can the mutation be done on a faceless basis? And actually we did it, wherein if the person A sells the land to person B, then a case gets registered to our revenue case management system. And then SMS and intimation goes to that land holding people and the surrounding, that if they have any complaint on this land, they can make a complaint on this online portal. And if there are no complaints or the complaints which are not tenable, then there are cyber tehsildar who are sitting in the state headquarters. They get the cases on round robin. They'll just do the mutation and send the mutated record to the buyer on their WhatsApp along with their order. And the time cycle is only 12 days. So, and the person doesn't have to go anywhere. The person has only gone to the registry department for making registry. Then after the whole mutation cycle is online and faceless. And they don't know who is the person who is there in here in the headquarters who is doing that mutation. So it's completely on round robin. And currently we are doing this for the complete land parcels, not for the part selling. Probably in the next 4 to 5 months, we'll also start doing for the land parcels which has been sold partially. Because there you need which portion of the land has been sold and complexity slightly becomes of the higher order. And it actually has created a lot of ripples, lot of positive outcome in this citizen, wherein they feel very relaxed, they don't have to go anywhere. And the time cycle has reduced from 40 to 60 days now to average to 15 days or even 12 days average. And number of appeal after this mutation has only been 2 out of 4,000 cases. Only 2 cases have gone to appeal to higher officials. We have also made a portal for PM Gati Shakti Sanchar for Government of India for all the states. And this is a common data MIS portal also. And this gives a complete glimpse of all the data points and the tower permissions, the tower application, which are lying in different states. And now we'll also interface with the 5G, rollout of the 5G policy in the state. This is an interesting project that we also did in-house, wherein we started selling the timber at the timber depot using online platform. And this platform was done online, in-house. We have not used MSTC or any other platform. And the interesting part on this platform is that the moment you do the auction, you participate in an online auction, the moment you are out of a particular auction, suppose you did not get a lot, then your EMP replenishes on a real-time basis. So your money doesn't get lost. Suppose you have parked say 1 lakh rupees and you are participating in an auction. The moment you are out of that auction, money will get replenished to your account. So it's so to and fro data that you are able to leverage that 1 lakh rupees on say 15 auctions. You don't have to park 15 lakh rupees for 15 auctions. So we have made this kind of a dynamic system along with a bank partner, and it has almost generated a value of 528 crore for the government. And the kind of ease it has given, the kind of participation it has given to the forest department is humongous. And now we have even integrated with permissions. The moment I give you an auction lot, I need to give you a transit pass. Now transit pass is also online, their checking is also online. So we have done the complete life cycle of the forest produce from the depot till the end consumer. So this is a completely trust-based system which is authenticated, which can be verified by the system. We have made a very singular portal wherein the department which are effectively not online, they can onboard themselves to online using MPE services. And we also have made a UniPay kind of a payment gateway, which is like a microservice based. Kahin bhi hame payment karna hota, we just plug in the UniPay. We don't have to integrate. It is digitally signable. It is e-sign enabled. It is Aadhaar based enabled. So it's like a microservice which we have done in-house. So these kind of systems, we are actually trying to become like an IT company, wherein GTM, we also now use the industry kind of terms. Go to market should be reduced. How fast we can, Now we will challenge. One department wanted an application to be done in 3 days, and actually we started the application in 3 days. And after 3 days, they just had an application window for 7 days, and they could fill 50,000 forms. The only identifier was summer maintenance. So now we are actually forcing department to be doing BPR in their applications. I generally sit with the department and say, "Bhaiya, kyun lena itna sara jo required in it?" So that is how the Lagli Banner thing, Sky has given a lot of confidence to the government, to departments, to do the BPR in their systems, which is traditionally not very, governments are not very forthcoming. Especially governments feel कि नहीं आपको ये मेरा device ही कह रहा है जो आप कह रहा है वो बना दीजिए. And many times I have to shout at them कि नहीं ये जो कह रहा है ये सही नहीं है. Then only people get to realize कि नहीं ये तो बहुत अच्छा हो गया. So this is how we are, and this is Sampada Treasury This is Sampada 2.0 registry software which we are creating in-house. 1.0 was done by Wipro and 2.0 probably will be doing a rollout in a month or a half. Next 45 days we'll do a pilot rollout. Here we are trying to leverage faceless registry, where in the end terminal people can sit in their homes and do the registry using faceless. And we are using eKYC and video KYC as the identifier. And we are also doing the dematerialized registry along with property valuation, which is GIS based. We are reducing the discretion of the registrar and sub-registrar to calculate the valuation of the property to the land parcel level, not to the general circle rate, but to actually calculate all these sub-rules which are there in the registry in any of the area. Provided it's a corner plot where you require say 20% of markup to be added. If it is next to Shamshan Ghat, you have to reduce the value by say 20%. And one of the interesting things I'll talk about how integrations are now being possible. This is an LPAS, Automatic Layout Plan Approval System. This is an interface based on GIS. The moment a layout is passed, that data will also get appended to that database. Okay, a mall is coming in this area. So automatically, if there is a clause in the registry department that, okay, if there is a big structure which is coming, then please load a premium of X on the rate. Because if that information is in a physical form, what happens that you are not able to integrate and a lot of registry keep happening by the time you embed that valuation in your data set on GIS. So these both systems will be talking to each other along with ABPAS of the Nagarpalika Automatic Building Plan Approval System. So then your data set, and we are also planning to integrate PM Gati Shakti on this GIS platform. So the moment any infra is being proposed, it will also be shown on the layer. So the valuation of the land, any premium is to be charged, that will also get added to the whole thing. So that is what Sampada 2.0 is all about. E-Vivechana, we are the only entity in India, only state in India where the CCTNS is being held by MPSEDC state entity. Otherwise, in all the state it is being done by private SI. And the department has been quite comfortable with working with us for their comfort reasons, and they are able to develop a lot of applications. E-Vivechana was one of the very new initiatives that they started on CCTNS, wherein police personnel is able to do their investigation at the crime site using mobile device. And it has all the markers of GIS, locational things, traceability, etc. And this has been recognized by different state governments, and they are, learning this and trying to adopt this. Alpas is the layout approval engine. We have almost built in 2200 rules of town and country planning Bhumi Vikas Niyam in this software. The rule engine is very strong, and the kind of what happens is, suppose you submit a layout. What is being done by the engineer of the town and country planning? They will scrutinize it based on the TNCP rules, and after 2 months, they will say कि आपका जो front में था वो 10 feet की जगह 12 feet करना. अगर आपको कोई system ये बता दे right from the beginning, the moment you upload a KML file on the system, that you need to spare 12 feet from the ROW, from the road bed or from the road center or from the edge of the road. The person will be more than eager to do that. But the kind of time cycle we used to take in a physical form was way high. It used to take 3 months, 4 months. Now we even have cases wherein our disposals has been even 6 days for passing a layout, approval of a layout. And it has been integrated with ABPAS, it has been integrated with Sampada. And out of 1961, 13.7 application has been disposed till now. And time cycle has actually been reduced averagely from 90 days to 15 days. And department has been, so we are trying to add in different cities because every city has got different Bhumi Vikas Niyam there, because it based on the urbanization of that particular city, what is to be allowed in a particular area. And we even have done one of the projects where now land use certificate it used to take, when I was SDM, I still remember, it used to take at least 3 months. If somebody says, this land ko mujhe land use bata dijiye, just give me a kagaz. It used to take 3 months. Now it's on a click. It's a pay use. We have made a platform with TNCP wherein you can take a printout of the land you just going by yourself on the website of any land parcel. This is a very interesting project that we did in-house for the home disaster warning and response system. If I would have shown you the screen, that would have been this apada-suraksha.mp, where we have integrated huge amount of data set on GIS. Every incident now, there are 5,500 home guards in the field. Every mobile number has been whitelisted. The moment they enter an incident, it will be shown on the GIS map. We show the rainfall on the GIS grid, how much is the work. And we also do the predictive analysis of submergence. Suppose today it's 11. Suppose if there are chances of very heavy rainfall for 2 days in Bhopal and around, and say I already have received 70% of the rainfall of the season in Bhopal. So the moment I put this on a dashboard that how much rainfall we have received, that we will get from the data set. And the chances of heavy rainfall of for 2 days in this area, system will tell me कि इस river basin में या district में what are the villages which are likely to get submerged. So we have done a runoff coefficient and runoff analysis, and we are now able to predict, not to highest order I can say. Prediction is always has a percentage of accuracy. But now we are predicting that these are the villages which are likely to submerge. And the moment you click on that village, I'll say which is the nearest URT center where you can send the people, which is the nearest Thana to that people. And on our Vallabh situation, you can even see which is the nearest dial 100, which is located, which is the nearest 108 vehicle which is coming. So our Vallabh situation room, it's like a war room where we have even cameras of each dam, cameras of each city, and different kind of a data set over and above what is visible to the citizen. So this platform is a very good decision tool for decision maker and for the disaster kind of a situation. We have even, recently added forest fire and added lightning. The moment you say the last 15 minutes में कितनी जगह lightning हुई, will show you on that. Last 15 days का, last 15 minutes का data. So that is now available at different sources. And we are also now trying to show the river water level at different levels on a river as a trace. So we also have a drone center for excellence and drone for governance we are using. And MPSEDC has been mandated as to give the drone as a service to state agencies as on a nomination basis. And now we are trying to do, you all know Alpin, unique land parcel identification number. How many of you know Alpin? What is Alpin? Alpin is every land parcel now has been given by a unique alphanumeric code, which by Ministry of DOLR. Alpin is a code which has been developed by CDAC, and it has a beauty that if I give you an Alpin, you can recreate the whole land polygon A, and you can even situate that polygon where it was there. I just give you an Alpin, so you can recreate that whole polygon along in the situation where it is situated. So now we are trying to do a POC with DOLR and CDAC to use Alpin as a service with a drone. So if a farmer, suppose want to do the spraying of chemical for nano urea using drone. So what the farmer traditionally will have to go, he will have to take the drone wala guy to कि भैया ये मेरा खेत है, यहाँ करना है. These are the 4 boundaries of my खेत. That is the person will have to tell. Otherwise, how a drone can know? So what we are trying to now create is we will create a platform where the person can just request like mobilization of drone, where the person will just request that this is my land ID using Samagra. They will just fill up the online request, put the amount, My drone will fly to that using the Alpine. They will render the service, make the video, make the analytics, and show it to the public that this happened. Faceless. So drone as a service using Alpine will actually change the governance and mobilization of agri services, especially and other services which can be rendered through drone and where the land is an identifier. We have adopted cloud and we have approved a cloud adoption framework as a go no-go policy for the state government. There are certain sensitive set of data which we are hosting as a matter of strategy in the state data center, and wherever we require scalability, and we are very beautifully now trying to leverage SaaS on cloud, software as a service, and infra as a service wherever we feels like we have a requirement. Because we are trying to leverage both data center and the cloud as a parallel entity, and wherever we feel like that the client requirement is scalable, then we use the cloud. And we are trying to not to buy algorithms, rather pay as you go model. You just utilize the pay as you go algorithms available on the cloud and use it for your own purpose. 5G policy I have talked about, and we have already made the GIS-based complete application workflow for 5G, and will be very shortly. We have also made a very interesting data analytics team in-house using services from one of the big four. EY is our partner, and we are now trying to give data analytics as a service to different departments. Many departments are not forthcoming in the front phase, but still we insist them, okay, hum aapke liye kar ke dete. And this has given a lot of insight to different departments, data set, because we sit on the huge data set. How to leverage that data set to generate actionable insights for using data analytics, that is what we are trying to predict. Some are still resisting because of their own, traditional wisdom and traditional thought, but still we keep on hammering. That is what MPSEDC keep doing. Even I'll say very interesting. You all know there are tender portals now which is being done by NIC, Chennai, MP tender, CG tender, Maharashtra tender. It's a common tender portal. We got the huge data set from MP tenders from NIC. Every state entity gets the data set. We even built an analytics layer over the top of that data set, and we started reaching out to departments that these are your KPIs for which you are defaulting. Please take corrective action. These are your tenders where average cycle time is high. Please reduce that. These are the tenders where most of the vendors are the same. The kind of things that in the morning sir was talking about. These are the kind of things which we are trying to persuade to different departments, not in a negative sense, but in a more positive and forthcoming sense. So even we did one of the interesting project with Discom, Central Discom distribution company, to predict who will be the proclaimed offenders, or what you would say, defaulters in the electricity bill payments based on the year-on-year data set, how their patterns has been. And the department was very, interested in doing this and taking this further, and they have got a lot of benefits out of it. So probably this is the last slide. So we have got a Center of Excellence for Software Development. We have got a MPSEDC, which is our GIS division. We also have very interesting thing which other states can emulate. We have something called SEMT from GOI. We had a PEMT cadre, which is from state, wherein we have a mandate of giving up to 5 consultants from the MPSEDC to every department to do the digitalization to handhold them, the department for the IT services, and to do the proactive. We have an e-Daksh, wherein we have a 50-seater computer training center in every district headquarter. So wherever you need the training, and we have certification courses, and we have lead trainer and assistant trainer in every district. We also have, I think it has not been mentioned, we have a CPCT exam. For computer operator, we made a standardization exam wherein there is a proficiency test which is being conducted not only for computer operator, which are deployed throughout sourcing, even now for government, lipid and this kind of entry-level clerical jobs. For LDC, a lower divisional clerk, they have to now pass our CPCT exam. So it's a very standardized exam. Every time, minimum 20,000 people sit in that exam. So it has given a good amount of confidence to people that if they have passed the CPCT exam, they have a minimum benchmarking in terms of data entry, in terms of typing, in terms of basic Microsoft Word kind of skills. So it was designed along with the TCS IR, and recently we started an internship program in-house where in Bhopal we are giving 25,000 rupees a month to an interns, and they will be the fourth year just graduating people or people who have graduated in 1 year from their college. So we'll take such kind of people, we'll give them 3 lakh rupees annually as internship. And if we found them suitable, we'll deploy them in our MPSEDC development, and we give them a decently around 4.8 to 5, which people doesn't will have to go to Bangalore and start. So we are trying to scale up our whole journey of IT development, and we get a lot of support from state government. So that is all from our side. Thank you. Any questions? I even have given a book of 75 years of IT, 75 projects of IT journey in every bag, and we have also given a QR if you are able to access that physically, digitally. So that book will be very handy for you to see what are projects, and we are very open, to collaborate with different states to understand their requirement, even understand how they have done, and we can even take, because IT is not a prerogative of any single agency. It's a collective good that we all are trying to leverage. We are trying to handshake. That is how we have a very positive mindset of it. Thank you very much.
And the kind of work we've done by your organization, the vision says it all. So I have a question for you, if you don't mind. Your presentation says it all, but just one thing that we are talking about, all this kind of solution being done by your department, everything. Connectivity is a problem still today, and the onslaught of 5G. How do you think it's going to make a difference in terms of government service delivery to citizens? Or do you think that more needs to be done in terms of 5G, 6G? Because connectivity is still a problem. How do you counter that challenge, sir?
Actually, now I feel that delivery of government services has to be M-governance based, mobile governance. And it has to be very light, seamless, and very smooth. So if you are trying to leverage M-governance, your data requirement at the end customer remains very low. And secondly, for a state like Madhya Pradesh, where still the literacy levels and the kind of digital level at the end client and customer and citizen is less, still we are leveraging the presence of common service centers and NP Online to render different government services and different digital services. So M-governance will remain a key. How light I can make a mobile application, which is seamless, which is light, which is very intuitive. Even I said to one of my team that can't we make something which is as seamless, as simple, as beautiful like Blinkit or any other such kind of delivery platform. So I always keep challenging my team to go further high, keep the technology stack as innovative as the industry is. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. If you still have any questions, you can ask me. So still here. Okay. So with this, we move to the next section of this Interdigital Empowerment Media Awards Madhya Pradesh region.